Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. So the other day I put out a video talking about using the new champion Ninja in a clan boss team, right? I wanted to show what he can do in a clan boss team. So I put him in a Bateater team. I had to modify it to make it work. It's basically the same kind of modification that you would do with a Nax to make him work in a clan boss team, or a Bateater team, I should say. And then I got to talking to some of my mods, and we were discussing these things, and we realized that, or they realized and informed me that we can actually make this work in the normal Bateater speeds by manipulating the skills that are being used in the time they're being used at. That was very exciting. So that means we can actually just drop Ninja into your normal Bateater team and make it work. Now, I'm still going to say Ninja is still not what I would consider an ideal Bateater champion. He uses his A1 sparingly, and that's the one with the decreased defense, and it's only a 60% chance to land. So it's just not super reliable, and that can be problematic. Now, you know, I feel like we're just beginning to uncover. This is literally still day one. I'm still filming the same night I filmed that other one, so it's still early on, but we're going to find more speeds. I'm pretty sure we've kind of come up with a budget unkillable variant. So I'll be sharing that in a day or two. But we're, still working towards all these different types of speed tunes, trying to make him work in them. And this one, it's amazing that it does work. And the thing is, if you are I would say lower to mid-level account, but you can get this, that's not fair. If you can build a Bateater team, but you're struggling to get really good damage, I think Ninja's actually a really good substitution, because by himself, he's simply going to drop massive amount of damage without having to be crazily built. I'm going to put him in here with the same build that I had yesterday, 4,400 attack. That is not a lot for an Ultra Nightmare clan boss team build without using Relentless. It's not a crazy amount. 240 crit damage is not a crazy amount. And yet he's still dropping crazy amounts of damage. Now, without making any speed adjustments, I think this should be comparable to what we did yesterday. So I'm really excited to show this to you guys. Yeah, basically that's it. Let's get in it. I'm going to show you I'll show you him, how he's kitted out. The rest of the team is not kitted out anything special. I really just got him the speeds. A bunch of them don't even have crit rate, so don't worry so much about the overall damage. What we're really focused on is the damage that Ninja does himself. Before I forget, I do want to shout out my Patreons. I want to remind you, we got that Soundstripe link down below. If you enjoy this music, it's a great way to get some for yourself. Definitely encourage you to go check that out. Hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit the like button. This is the stuff that lets me continue to put these kind of crazy builds out there, to let you guys do 2-key, 1-key, crazy Ultra Nightmare damage and really advance your account. Let's go ahead. We'll look at the champions real quick, and then we'll do the run. All right, in case any of you missed my previous clan boss run where we had this champion, same gear, haven't changed a darn thing on him. We've got him up to 222 speed. That's Bateater speed, 100% crit rate, 243 crit damage, good accuracy. Attack is 4,482. As we know with his kit, his passive ability is going to double that. It's going to be an insane amount. So he's going to be doing some crazy damage, but it really does ramp up over time. It does not start heavy. It gets heavy as we go along. And when we get decreased defense out, it makes that even stronger. But unfortunately, he's the only champion that does that. He only has a 40% chance to land it. So it's not, or 60% on that A1. It's not super crazy. So we're just going to have to deal with it as it is. Okay, here we go. Normal Bateater team. Nothing crazy going on here. All the speeds are pretty normal. I got my Seeker back down to 249. I got my Man-Eater down to like 266. Normal Bateater speeds. Here's how we do it. And this runs just like a Bateater team, right? Nothing really special. So the key here is we want to time his A1 to happen on the second half of attacks. Basically, it has to happen right after Painkeeper does her A3 skill. That's what's going to make this work. But getting into it, everything is normal, like we just would do in a normal Bateater setup. Nothing fancy going on here. Let me get this going. Boom, 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 boom. Nice and easy. Starts off with that A2. That's what he likes to do. Get that HP burn going, hit that major damage. I definitely am a fan of that. We didn't land all of them, but that's okay. Here we go. Seeker goes again. Everybody's like just doing our thing, right? The simple, easy breezy. There we go. Could pretty much click auto, except not quite, because we do have to do a little bit of manualing here to make this work. So A2, then A3, no issues here. Now this is where we're gonna have to make slight alterations, okay? Because we need to time that A1 skill. That's what's really gonna make this work for the Bateater team. So just a little bit more manualing. Everything's going normal. Now right here, with this skill, we're gonna wanna use the A1, right? It's turn count 1. I know we have the HP burn available, but we wanna use the A1 right here. The reason why is we're gonna need to use that A2 on the next turn, and you'll see why here in just a second. Here goes Seeker, boom, boom. And everything else is gonna go nice and smooth. We just have to manual just a smidge more and we'll be in good shape. All right, and you can see we are in sync. Who's going first? Ninja, just the champion we want to. We're gonna go ahead and drop that A2 ability. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. It's exactly what we want to see. There goes Seeker. There goes Maneater. And now here's the key. Painkeeper's gonna cool everybody down. And at this point, this is the last thing we really need a manual to get out here. We don't want to use the A3, we want to use his A1 skill. That's the important one. Right after the cooldown, as long as we get that in, now we're gonna go click auto and let it rip. At this point, we're gonna have the A2 at the start of the next round, right into the A3. And then the top, right before the stun, we'll get the A2 again, and then we'll do the A1 right when Painkeeper is resetting the cooldowns. What the key is, because Ninja goes first, it doesn't matter how much extra turn meter boost we get after his second turn. It's just gonna fill it up so that he goes first. Now, we can't overfill it, right? We don't want him to outpace the clan boss and take a third turn on any one of these, a third attack on any of these turns. But he can definitely overfill his turn meter bar as long as he doesn't go faster than the clan boss. And because of that, we want to make sure his A1 happens second. It has to happen on his second attack. If it happens on his first attack, it can speed him up too much, and that's why we have to use those alternate speeds, right? So if you're gonna do like a Batman Forever team without a Painkeeper, you're gonna have to use those faster speeds. If you're gonna use a Seeker team with a traditional clan boss, like you're trying to use a Valkyrie and a Brogni in there or something, you're gonna have to use those alternate faster speeds I showed yesterday. If not, if you are using Painkeeper, specifically in a Bateater team, specifically using a Painkeeper, I should say, you can run them in the normal speeds, but you have to make sure that A1 skill of ninjas happens after Painkeeper does the cooldown. Once that goes, then we are in great shape. But that is 100% what we have to do here. And you can see it's working wonderfully right now. At the top of the turn, he's either going to do his A2 or his A3 ability. There you go, got that HP burn, just like we should. Right? In fact, at the top of his turn, he's always going to use his A2 ability, right? And then on his second attack, it's always going to be the A3, like right there, or it'll be his A1 skill. That's just the way it is every single time, because we're timing Painkeeper's cooldown with him using his A1 skill. And that melding works wonders. And so you can see, this is just going to go forever. Again, forever. That's how this works. Now, you will see the only issue here, in case if you've figured out the problem with this, the problem is that he's only going to use his A1 skill every other turn of the clan boss, which means that if he doesn't land that decreased defense with his A1 skill, it's probably not going to stay up. That's the part that can be problematic. Now, we do have retribution on him, right? So we have him in the defensive masteries. Again, the extra turn meter boost, not a problem, because it happens after the clan boss goes. That's totally fine. He's going on the next tick anyway. Doesn't matter how much extra turn meter he gets at that point. But because of that, because that's what's happening, there is a chance as we get further along in the fight, he's going to have decreased defense up more, because those counterattacks that he gets from the defensive masteries will help keep that up on the clan boss. As you can see, it's up right now. Now, the consistency of it, that's definitely going to be an issue, right? Like right here, it's probably going to fall off, because I think he's going to use his A3 in just a moment here. And when that happens, this will be the last turn of having that decreased defense, right? There goes the A3. If he doesn't get a retaliation proc here, we're just not going to have decreased defense up for his next big attack. That does a major difference to the damage of the team as a whole, right? That's a counterattack from the Maneater, but this one wasn't. Now we no longer have decreased defense up, and so the damage is less. If we could have that up consistently, my God, the damage we would do would be insane. But it's not really viable with this team. We only have one DPS slot for him. We don't have anybody else in here that can really do what we need to do, which is bring another decreased defense or even bring in weaken. We don't have either of those. He's still doing crazy damage. He's nuts. So my next goal is to try to bring him into a team that can have a plethora of debuffs, right? I want to have decreased defense. I want to have weaken. I want to have him up the full fight. And then I want to see how much damage this guy can do, because I think it should be insane. Now, everybody's working on this right now. We should have them in the calculator. If not, by the time you see this video, in at least a day or two, it's going to be really quick. And at that point, we're going to be able to really try to start to make some teams that involve him, and we'll really be able to see the potential that this champion can bring to the clan boss, because he brings a lot of damage. He's really, really strong. So that's what we got today. Let me get off the screen here. You guys can watch. We'll jump to the end of this. We can see the end, kind of see what kind of damage he does in this traditional Bateater team. And that's the difference between this and the faster variant. The faster variant, he's getting more A1 attacks in, right? He's basically going A2, A3, A2, A1, A1. That's the order in which he uses his skills. So he's getting a little bit more A1 attacks in against the clan boss. In this, he's doing A2, A1, A2, A3, A2, A1, A2, A3, A2, A1. So his big hits are happening more often. So that's kind of the balance that's going on here. And we'll have to see, is decreased defense more valuable, or is the number of attacks more valuable? Like the big hit attacks more valuable? I'm not honestly sure. I think it's going to balance itself out probably, but we'll see. So I'll get off screen. You guys can enjoy the music. Okay. 56 million. I mean, he still did bonkers damage. What is that? 36 million, 35.5 million. I mean, that's an incredible amount of damage for him. Man, I was reading the comments from the other video I showed where I showed him in Clan Boss, and like, you have to understand, I really did throw his gear together, so it's not perfect. But there's a couple things that I think there's a few good points that people are making, and yeah, I want to talk about those. This is this is still crazy damage. So there's a couple good points that people have been making in the comments of my other video, and I want to kind of address a few of them. One, would you like immediately ungear your Draco or your Jin Toro and put it on Ninja to slot him in your clan boss team? I don't think so. There are some serious limitations to what he's doing in this particular team. And I think we've covered one of the big ones, and that's that he has that decreased defense and weaken isn't up the full fight. He doesn't have weaken whatsoever, and decreased defense is very sporadic in this team. What that really means is that the rest of the champions are going to be doing considerably less damage than they should. So even though Ninja looks amazing, is doing crazy damage. I mean, the last build too was against Spirit Affinity, the strong affinity for Ninja, definitely his best affinity to go against. He did about 40 million. This one, he did about 35. I think this is pretty a reasonable expectation, right? This Void, 35 million, pretty darn good. Is half of it. I mean, he's doing a 2-key by himself, which is pretty nuts. But because he doesn't bring that decreased defense and weaken, it really does limit the overall potential of the comp itself. You're not going to be getting the crazy amount of damage. Like a Seeker properly built, and mine is not, properly built Seeker should be doing, I don't know, probably about 18, 20 million if you're trying to get to that 1-key level, right? Maneater's doing about 10. This Seeker's doing 6. Decreased defense and weaken would probably come close to doubling that, right? So, I mean, the way mine's built, maybe somewhere between, I don't know, 10 and 12 million damage, I think is a reasonable expectation. We're not getting that, right? I mean, we're leaving a lot of damage on the table because of that. So Bateater is not actually where I would use Ninja. Now, there's other builds that definitely I think would benefit from him. And the hard part is we have to figure out, how to tune him because of that A1, that turn meter boost is definitely going to make that difficult. You can't just drop him into any old speed tuned team and expect it to work. But he should be able to work for most of them, I think, actually. After further looking at it, it's just going to take some individual adjustment of his particular kit to make it work. So I'll definitely have some videos coming out in the short term. We've definitely got a budget unkillable with him. I think that should work. We're going to probably test that on stream. We've got obviously we worked him in the Bateater. He can definitely work in the Batman Forever. You're going to want to use those speeds I had from before. But yeah, this is a very good champion for Clan Boss specifically. I have tested him in other areas of the game, and he's disappointing. He's not terrible. He's not trash. Don't feed him, for God's sakes. Don't feed him. But he's definitely not what I think all of us had hoped he would be. He still rocks pretty hard in Dragon, even if like some of his stuff is capped. He still hits stupid hard in that. I think there's really strong potential for him in a few of the Doom Tower bosses, though getting him to work in that is always tricky, but Doom Tower is always tricky, so nothing surprising there. He's a good champion. He's worth holding on to, and if ever there's a champion that's going to get buffed, it's going to be a champion like Ninja. Just stick him in the vault if you're not ready to use him yet, and I think that's where a lot of people are going to stick him. I mean, he does stupid crazy damage, and I'm excited to build some crazy teams that can really showcase how much damage he can do as an individual. But he's probably not going to be meta. He's not going to be that ultimate champion to get. But I think for a lot of people, because we all have him now, he is a very good option for a lot of people in this game. And I think, making some teams that use him, I think will be advantageous for a lot of people. So pay attention. I'm definitely going to be having some more speed tunes coming out, some more builds using him. So, I may not have yours yet, but I've literally had him for a day. I'm sure a lot of the other content creators are going to be creating some stuff. I'm sure the community as a whole will be creating some stuff. So pay attention to your YouTubes. Subscribe here, get your notification bell so you know when that next build comes out and you can be the first in your clan to showcase it. I don't know. I'm trying. Thank you guys for coming by. As always, it has been a pleasure. Until next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.